Okay, welcome. In this video, we're going to look at how to write equations now given a graph. Okay, now we know how to write equations given a table, and the same two things we need to know. The first, again, is how is our tile pattern growing? What's the growth? And we also need to know how many tiles are in figure 0. Once we know these two questions, or the answers to these two questions, we could jump right to our equation. So our equation is still y equals mx plus b. For all lines, this is our equation. Okay, and m is our growth, and b is our number of tiles in figure 0. So let's say we have this graph. Okay, so we have this graph, and we want to write the equation. So, I mean, yes, at some point we turned this back into a table and we did this island board game again, but we want to know just what are the answers to these two questions. How is our tile pattern growing, and how many tiles are in figure 0? So the second question is actually very easy. How many tiles are in figure 0? Well, our y-axis is figure 0. So we look right here. Okay? This means there is one tile in figure 0. Okay, now we're going to look at how the pattern is growing. So as we go from figure 0 to figure 1, how many tiles are we adding? Or as we're going from figure 1 to figure 2, how many tiles are we adding? So this is where we want to draw in our growth triangles. Okay, as we go over one figure, how many tiles did we add? As we go over one figure, how many tiles do we have? Well, figure 1 has 4 tiles. As we go to figure 2, we're adding 1, 2, 3 tiles to get to 7 tiles in figure 2. As we go over to figure 3, we're still adding 1, 2, 3 tiles to get to 10 tiles in figure 3. So this is our growth. So we have our growth, we have the number of tiles in figure 0, so right away we say our rule is y equals 3x plus 1. That's it. Okay, so this one, you're going to try on your own, like we usually do, and you're going to press pause. After you have the example copied down, try and solve it on your own. So press pause, try and write the equation on your own, and then press play to check your work. Okay, so again, the two things we want to figure out are how many tiles are in figure 0, and how is this tile pattern growing or shrinking or decreasing. So I see, again, my y-axis is always my figure 0. That's when x equals 0. So I see we have 11 tiles in figure 0. And now I see my tile pattern is decreasing. So as we go from figure 0 to figure 1, how many tiles am I taking away? As I go from figure 1 to figure 2, how many tiles am I taking away? So as I go over one figure, I'm taking away 1, 2, 3, 4 tiles. And this is minus 4 because I'm taking them away. As I go over one figure, I'm taking away 1, 2, 3, 4 tiles. So my growth is negative 4. So my equation is simply y equals negative 4x plus 11. Once we have our growth in the number of tiles in figure 0, we just do our growth times x plus 11, just like we did when we had our table. Okay, let's do one more. Now this one's a little bit different, but because we have a 4-quadrant graph, but our ideas are the same thing. There's still those same 2 questions we want to answer. Okay, so here's our graph. Let's say we have this line, or this tile pattern. So again, press pause, try and write the equation on your own, then press play to check your work. Okay, so just because we have a 4-quadrant graph doesn't mean we do anything different. We still want to answer the same 2 questions. How many tiles are in figure 0, and how is this tile pattern, how is this line growing? So figure 0 is still our y-axis. Okay, this is still when x equals 0. So in this case, figure 0 has negative 3 tiles. Okay, and I know you might say negative 3 tiles doesn't make sense, but again, we want to move away from just positive numbers because we know negative numbers exist and we know there are patterns and lines that don't rely on tiles, but we use that as our base point, as our foundation. So there's negative 3 tiles in figure 0, and as we go from figure 0 to figure 1, as we go from figure 0 to figure 1, we're adding 2 tiles. From figure 1 to figure 2, we're adding 2 tiles. From figure 2 to figure 3, we're adding 2 tiles, and this is the same throughout the course of the line. So this plus 2 is our growth. Now we have our growth, which is positive 2, and we have the number of tiles in figure 0, which is just negative 3, so our equation is y equals 2x minus 3. That's it. So to get more practice, refer to the textbook, refer to some of the online resources provided on the website, or my website, or the homework hotline.